So my wife sent me a very cool question. I like the guy's transparency here, and I think all of us, myself included, have struggled to a certain degree. The way he seems to be struggling as he's asking this question. Okay, looking for some guidance. His name's Jason Parker. Looking for some guidance from Jocko Willink. Excuse me. He opens up with, "Forgive the ignorance here. Why do you guys lift weights? To be strong? Yeah. To be sexy? To help with rage? I'm struggling with getting on the bandwagon because I hate it so much. I'd rather fight with my wife, go to the DMV, go to the dentist, be nagged by my mother-in-law, you name it. It seems like such a waste of time. Discipline does not answer why. It gets things done, but doesn't answer why. So why is lifting weights something I should be doing?" Okay, so I think this question is is enormous. It's loaded. There's a lot of tangents we can go on. First, we need to attack the physical side. Just attack the physical side. Start there. You've got, he said, strength training, lifting weights. All right. What benefits does strength training give you? And do you need those benefits physically? Okay, your body. All right. Movement is how we maintain our body and improve our body. Without movement, bad things happen. This this is not this is not up for debate. This is a known thing. You study extreme cases, and the answer to these extreme cases where there's paralysis, you're bedridden, you're bound to a wheelchair, there's issues that will arise, and they're answered by movement. Okay, your body will decay, it will fall apart if it does not move. Okay, let's start there. So we know we need to move. We know that much. Okay, if if you care about the quality and the performance of your body, you're not looking for minimums. You have ambition. You want your you want to reach your potential in something. Then the next question is, well, how much do I need to move and what kind of movement do I need to do to be my best? Okay, so you should you should set goals for strength. You want to be as strong as you can be. Set goals for endurance and set goals for muscle growth or muscle maintenance, bone strength. All these things weightlifting gives you that come in handy at a bare minimum of fending off the ravages of life. Okay, the first thing you have to deal with when you're born is Mother Nature. Like this Mother Nature, this world, this natural world will kill you if you're not prepared physically to deal with it. Okay, you know, fortunately and unfortunately in so many ways, we have technology that allows us to live a softer life. We're not cavemen anymore, so you can get a desk job. You can go from your bedroom to your car to your office and never have to deal with nature. So you might be confused of, why do I need to put myself through extra suffering to maintain a physical fitness that may never be used, may never come in handy. Okay, and that's where health comes in. Your fitness is directly integrated with your health. If fitness goes up, health goes up. If fitness goes down, health goes down. Now, your fitness is like measuring your performance events, measuring your bench press, your squat, your deadlift, your run. Can you do these physical activities? That's your fitness. Okay. Your health is, for just to have a simple definition on hand, is your biomarkers. Okay, measuring your biomarkers, your heart health, your bone density, your muscle mass, your brain activity. Do you have high cholesterol? Do you have a good resting heart rate? Um, do you have diabetes? Any illnesses? How's your health? Okay, if if your fitness is high level, then your health will be high level. So even if you do have a career that's completely intellectual, there's no physical activity, and you have no physical hobbies whatsoever, your physical fitness will still play a part in your potential, your performance in your career. It'll still play a part in your health, a very important part. All right. There's 32 chronic diseases, chronic, very popular diseases that uh, can be remedied by fitness, okay, and nutrition, eating right, and getting exercise. All right. So uh, that that I think is a short answer to why you physically need to strength train. Okay. Uh, your body will fall apart. You're mortal. It'll fall apart, and it'll fall apart more rapidly if you don't take care of your fitness. Movement is how we maintain, and that's how we improve, and that's how we also fight off disease, is with movement. Okay. The answer to an illness or a problem is never sit still. That only makes things worse, even for extreme cases like uh, like paralysis or third degree full body burns, or you name it. Whatever disorder you have, you still, disorder or disease or impairment, you still need to find a way to move. Even if somebody has to move you, you still need to stimulate blood flow and get that body moving. Okay, so without getting into any other goals, for example, I've always been in sports my entire life: football, wrestling, mixed martial arts, CrossFit when I got older, later on in life, and that was one of the reasons, a powerful motivator to train and train hard. But now I'm reaping the benefits. Now I'm now I have a muscle mass that allows me to uh, do anything I want with my boys. I have 3-year-old boys. I can take them, and we can do any activity. The other day we went on a pedal boat, and that thing kicked my butt. I didn't realize how hard those little pedal boats are, and my legs fell off. I intentionally kind of turned it into a workout. It's like I'm gonna pedal hard for 30 minutes straight, and it felt like it kind of felt like mountain biking, if you've ever done that before, where you climb the uphill part for several miles straight, no downhill. It's like your legs will never be on more fire than in that situation. Without any physical fitness, being completely out of shape, uh, there would have wouldn't have been able to enjoy it the way that we did. Okay, may not even be able to do it. There's some people who, excuse me, they can't. they can't go on certain activities. Uh, I've coached a lot of people. I've over 10,000 hours of coaching. I don't even know how many people I've coached, and I've seen all, may sound harsh, but I've seen all different levels of deterioration and at surprisingly young ages. So I've seen 30-year-olds that can't, they're in their 30s, that can't manage a good full body weight squat without losing their balance, without falling over or getting stuck at the bottom. And that's sad. It's like, that's scary. It's like, do you really want to be that handicapped physically? It's kind of, I don't know if it's my mentality, but I put things in extremes. Like, I don't want to be handicapped at all. Okay, I actually want to push things to the other side. I want to be the most capable I can possibly be for any scenario, any emergency, uh, any opportunity. All right, so let's dive into the other side, uh, the more philosophical side, the more psychological side. What does fitness give you? What does training give you? Whether it's weight training or endurance training, I would recommend a combination of both, integrating them, because there's endless amount of benefits to both. Okay, and one enhances the other. Strength training, endurance training, cardiovascular training, uh, also known as single modality, long duration training like running, jogging, or running, rowing, swimming, biking. Combine that with your strength training. Uh, Gives you a phenomenal level of fitness with an infinite amount of benefits to it. Okay, so psychologically, philosophically, why should we train? In your question, you said something about, I'd rather fight with my wife, go to the DMV, go to the dentist. I'm struggling with getting on the bandwagon. It seems like a huge waste of time. Okay, so the huge waste of time really stands out to me because one of the biggest mistakes people make when attacking their fitness is they look for immediate results. They look for immediate gratification. That's the number one reason we fall for our vices, for the things that screw our lives up every time. Is there's something about that thing that you shouldn't be doing that gives you immediate gratification. And this is not just a mystical thing, it's not just a philosophical thing, it's also a biological thing. Every little trick we find that gives ourselves immediate gratification is rewarded with an endocrine response. Okay, a hormone. You get a jump of endorphins or dopamine, the feel good stuff. Okay, so what are you doing with that hour that you could have went down to the gym? What are you replacing it with? You're talking about a huge waste of time. All right, which it's not. We've already discussed the fitness and health benefits. All right, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Always remember that. You can go down that rabbit hole. Uh, for example, one I left out that's really important is your cognitive function. There's very strong empirical evidence that a 50-year-old can rewind his cognitive function to that of a 30-year-old with strength and conditioning. Okay, brain games don't work. Those brain apps, there's no valid empirical evidence that those improve cognitive function, that they're actually brain exercise. But there's lots of evidence for strength and conditioning. And one of the reasons is, see if I say this correctly, is just like throughout your body, strength and conditioning will increase the number of capillaries, which increases blood flow. It does the same in the brain. So that's just one variable. It's very biological. It's not a mystical thing. It'll increase the capillaries in your brain and increase blood flow, and then it just goes on. That rabbit hole goes on from there. So uh, if you have a very technical job that requires a lot of brain power, that should be a paranoia of yours. You should want to get your strength and conditioning in so you can do your job better. Okay. Um, it makes me think of grandmaster chess players. Many of them knew back in the 70s and the 60s, early on, when the science was young, that they needed to get some physical exercise, and every time they did get some physical exercise in, their gameplay went up. Their gameplay was much better compared to when they went several days without any physical movement. Their gameplay would deteriorate. Okay, so uh, makes me think of Bobby Fischer. He was the only American world champion. Took down the Russians, a team of Russians, basically by himself, and he would he was an advocate of some type of exercise. He would do boxing. He would do little workouts in his room. He would go bowling, play tennis, get some physical exercise in, and then when he went back to the studying his chess or to the tournaments, he found his performance was much better. His cognitive ability was much more precise. Okay, so uh, philosophically, back to the huge waste of time, I'd rather do other things that are painful than work out. And one of the reasons is we don't see immediate results from training. And that's a big character flaw in the human population by and large, is if we don't see immediate results, we don't get immediate gratification, we don't want it. We don't want anything to do with it. We want instant gratification. So instead of training, I'm going to go sit down and watch a movie, and the movie will give me immediate gratification. I'll get something out of it. If it's a good movie, I'll get catharsis. You know, um, I'll get a story, I'll get some education, I'll get some entertainment, I'll get inspired, I'll get something immediate from that movie. Okay, rather than and along with that, you're gonna eat the foods, the bad foods that give you uh, immediate endocrine responses, that you feel more than you feel the healthier foods. Like a cookie, you get that sugar, and sugar increases dopamine rather than eating your steak, which is not going to increase the dopamine as much. Okay, so but there is a extremely bright side. There's some light in that tunnel. Okay, and I want you to listen to this very carefully. Okay, what people find out, what people have found out when they come and train with me, when they've come to my gyms and had exposed themselves to my workouts over weeks, months, is they realize that it's a form of therapy. Okay, I would challenge you to do this. It's like you're having a bad day, go get a workout in. Go put yourself through some suffering. It's like, oh man, the last thing I want to do after I suffered is go through more suffering. All right, go do it. Okay, your body knows, it's in your genome, it's in your genetics. It knows that the fitness, the training is good. Is good. This is how we maintain. This is how we improve our fitness and health. Your body knows this. Okay, it's not something you have to teach it. Like it knows certain foods that you need food. You don't have to teach your body that it needs food. Okay, you don't have to teach your body that it needs movement. So what it will do after you've done a good workout is your feel good hormones will hit. You'll get dopamine. You'll get uh, I can't remember, serotonin, endorphins. There's a number of them. You'll get a rush of these after a workout, and it's as good or better. I would say better for lots of reasons. Being natural, if it works, is always better than man-made medications. So say you are depressed, so get a workout in. While you're getting that burst of hormones, the depression will be lifted. And if you do it on a consecutive basis, 5 days a week, you're medicating yourself. All right, so uh, that's a little bit of biology and psychology and philosophy all in one, which is important to recognize the integration there. Okay, you can't separate physical fitness, health, and mental performance, cognitive performance. Uh, and I would go even as far as, if you believe in this type of thing, your spirituality, your your philosophy, whatever you want to call it in life, they're all integrated. They all affect each other. So if one is suffering, others will suffer. If one is benefiting, others will benefit. Like if your fitness benefits, your health will benefit. If your fitness and health benefits, your cognitive performance will benefit. If your cognitive performance benefits, well, then you're probably going to make better moral decisions based on your values and principles rather than undisciplined, lackluster decisions based on your values and principles. Okay, make better executive decisions. So when you get in the gym and you're hitting a hard workout and you're starting to experience the pain, starting to experience the suffering, the thing I would be concerned about, and I had to really come to terms with this after I got older. I'm 40 now, and I don't really compete in sports. I might do something once in a while for entertainment value. I might jump in a CrossFit competition or a wrestling tournament or jiu-jitsu tournament just for fun, not serious at all. Uh, Maybe to challenge myself to ramp up my fitness. Um, but after I semi-retired from the competitive world, I kind of ran into that stumbling block that you're running into. It's like, why do I want to do this anymore? And how hard do I want to make it on myself? Because uh, trying to be ultra competitive is ultra painful. It's not it's not something I necessarily wanted to go through every day, but I put myself through it anyways because I had certain goals that required it. If I didn't do it, I would fail. I wouldn't hit my goals. Um, so now I get in the gym and I got 10 rounds of this horrible conditioner planned, and I get to round 5 and I'm already gassed. Everything's on fire, got no energy left. It feels like I did enough. Okay, but I didn't think that would be enough when I planned it. but I get to a fork in the road where I have an obstacle in my way, a very daunting obstacle, you know, metaphorically, you call it a dragon, steps in my way. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I going to push through? Am I going to slay the dragon? Or am I going to, lack of a better word, am I going to bitch out just because it got tough? Oh, you felt a little bit of pain. Can you think of any other scenario in life where other people felt more pain and they kept pushing through? Okay, so that's the moment when I realized, I need to really attach training to my values. They really need to be integrated. What do you value? Okay. What I, the way I grew up being in combat sports, being a soldier, I really value the sheepdog philosophy, the sheepdog mentality. I, I, for as long as I can remember, I hate bullies. It was no problem for me to go over there and take Saddam down. I know there's a lot of political baggage that goes with that, but Saddam was a bully. He tortured his enemies and innocent people and dropped chemical weapons on his own people. He was a tyrant. You know, that's all I cared about. Uh, if if I don't have the courage, the wherewithal to push through a workout, what does that say about my character? What does that say about me? Where else in my life am I faltering when it gets tough? Okay, where else in life am I giving up when it gets tough? When, and it may seem valid, it's like when I don't think I can possibly go on anymore. I don't think I have the resources, the abilities to solve this problem, to push through this problem. Okay, so, and I've had this discussion with my boys over and over again because I want them to have a sheepdog mentality. I want them to be able to slay dragons. I don't want them to ever give up when it gets tough until they've absolutely exhausted all resources and externally and internally. It's like that's an extreme lack of character. You really need to have a moment of truth with yourself in those moments. And the gym is a perfect place for yourself to practice that, to train it. Okay? So we've covered the fitness benefits, the health benefits. Now we have the character benefits, which I think all of them have equal value. And if I had to really pick a favorite, I would pick the character benefits. Okay. Because there's probably, and you've discovered it, whether you realize it or not, you discovered it. There's probably nothing worse than physical discomfort. And if you can put yourself through physical discomfort every day to where you see your body improving, your health improving, your cognitive performance improving, if you can do that every day, then there's nothing stopping you. You can take that mentality and apply it to anything else. And I've done it in my life. I'm always speaking from experience. I'm not just giving you something straight out of a textbook that I haven't practiced. I wouldn't do that. I don't like the do as I say, not as I do, however that goes. Okay. Uh, Talking about the cognitive performance and taking the character that training develops and applying across the board, because it transfers, definitely transfers. When I got out of the Army in '07, I had at least 7 years since I touched a math book. My math skills were gone. I didn't even remember some basic algebra formulas. Um, though I forgot how to do those. I needed a refresher on that. And I get to Pace University, enroll there in New York, and I enroll in biochemistry of all things, which was a nightmare. And I got to do calculus 1 and 2. Okay. I had to, it was torture. There was so many painful moments going through calculus 1 and 2 because I didn't even have the fundamentals of algebra still firmly in place. And then I'm going to take another layer and put that on top. Uh, there was a lot of suffering involved. And I took the character that I had developed in other areas of my life, like training. I was like, well, I can push through this, So I head down, put my head in the book. 1,000 practice problems later, and I'm getting a B. I didn't get an A. It wasn't a that kind of story, but I did get a B on those courses. But those were also courses that other people straight out of high school notoriously fail. Okay, and what do you think the likelihood of those people who failed also had no physical fitness in their life? They hadn't suffered as much as I had. They hadn't been through a war. They hadn't been through boot camp. They hadn't been through wrestling tournaments and all the strength and conditioning that I had done since 13 to prepare myself for those moments, for those sports, and to be a soldier. Uh, I didn't cry. I didn't quit. I didn't say this is something that I don't know how to get through. I knew how to get through it, through a lot of suffering. Okay, I knew I'd come out the other side. And then another one, I just finished a 6 month boot camp at Vanderbilt for coding. That brought real tears. You know that's brain melting. You know, learning something entirely new. Okay, but I learned develop the character to grind, develop the character to keep moving despite the amount of suffering I'm going through. So I think that's a good place to wrap it up. You get infinite amount of fitness benefits, infinite amount of health benefits. Cognitive performance goes up, and you will build a character that is useful and a character that you can be proud of.